If you're looking to start your product-based business through Wix, or maybe you even have a service-based business looking to expand your offerings with Wix, this video is for you. Before, we talked about how to add digital products to your Wix website, but today we are talking about how to add physical products for you to sell through your Wix website. Quick and easy, simple, straight to the point. For those of you who are new here, welcome to Wix Wednesdays, where we highlight one Wix feature you must have on your website. I'm your girl D of D Bella Designs, a web and brand identity designer. Let's get into it. For this example, we are using the standard version of Wix, but if you are on Wix Studio, it should be very similar so you can still follow along. To get started, you want to go ahead and start with your Wix dashboard. And from the navigation menu on the left side, you want to go to Catalog. And then under Store Products, which is already expanded for us, you want to go ahead and click Products. So as you can see, I am currently on the product page. This client already have a few products added. What I want you to make note of is to the right of the name, it shows what type of product. So we are focusing on physical products today. You also have the option for digital products. To get started with adding a new product, you want to go ahead and click on the button towards the top right, New Product, and select Physical Product. That's going to bring you to the product page where you can go ahead and add all the details needed. So first, we're going to start with the product title. I know we have some very creative businesses and we have some very unique names. For instance, this client, all of her wigs are named after chess pieces. That is the theme of her brand. However, for the title, in addition to that unique name that you have, you do want to add something that is very keyword focused, so your customers that's reading it will automatically know what it is. For instance, if she has the wig named Queen, I don't know the details of this wig without having to go further into the description. However, if it says Bohemian, Glueless, whatever the case may be, then I know off the first second if I'm interested or not as a customer. Right? So just keep that in mind when it comes to the product title. Next, you have the images and videos, which you can upload either or. For this example, I'm just going to upload a few images. So once I have my images added, let's say I don't like the order they were added. So all I have to do is just click and drag to the order that best suits my needs. Something I want you to pay attention to is on the right-hand side, you have two options, show in online store and show in point of sale. These are very important. The first one determines if your product is going to show up on your website. The second one, let's say you have a point of sale or basically a register that you're using. Maybe you have a brick and mortar where customers come in and they can purchase. You can set that up through Wix as well. That's when you want to have that checked. So for this purpose, the main thing that I need to have checked, because this person is only selling online, is the first one, show in online store. Okay. Next, I want to come down to categories before we get into product info. So for categories, she currently have two, all products and then add-ons, because her inventory isn't really that big. But let's say you're a clothing brand, for instance, and you have shirts, you have jeans, you have shorts, you have accessories. You want to create different categories for that. One, so that they can be on individual pages if you have enough inventory where that makes sense. And also, so clients or customers can use filters for your products as well. So even for this client, even though she doesn't have a large selection, let's say she had a selection that varies by hair texture. I can create a category that says straight hair or curly hair or bob. That's basically going to help her customers to be able to use those filters and get exactly what they're looking for. So to add a category, all you have to do is select Create Category, input the name, and check it off. Now let's say I want to go to categories. As you can see on the left-hand side, there's that option there. Because we are focused on the products and adding it right now, I'll go to that in a moment. All right, next we have the product info. As you can see, it's that name that we already worked on. What is the ribbon? So the ribbon shows on top of the image or the product on your website. So this is great. As you can see, they have an example of new arrivals, or let's say you're doing like a 50% off or some type of promotion where it doesn't apply to everything. You can use the ribbon so customers can see that this promo applies to this product. You have your description, of course. Key things that you want to add in your description. It's one, of course, exactly what you're offering. Two, any additional details that will help them buy. For instance, if they need to know any sizes, they need to know if they should be aware of any allergies. If you have like a skincare line, for instance, then you could add your ingredients here, the product size, etc. Basically, all the information that is needed to sway your customer and help them to make the purchase. You also have an additional info sections where you could share if you have like specific policies for specific products, you could add those there. Of course, you do want to put that on your policy page as well. You also have care instructions for my ladies who offer services, or like I said, the skincare line, for instance, and there are specific care instructions. You can add that here. All you have to do is click add an info section, description, and we're going to go and see what this looks like on the front end as well. So next you have your pricing. So let's say the product you're offering is on sale. You don't have to go and change every single price. Instead, you could click on sale and then add the discount, either the dollar amount or the percentage. In this case, I'm going to go with percentage, and let's say 50% off. There, the sales price updated based on the percentage I put in. Next, we have show price per unit. So let's say instead of selling just one individual whole package, you are selling something by weight, maybe by measurement. You can go ahead and use this option here, show price per unit. So I could put in here, this price is based on 30 pounds. I could go in and change it based on weight, volume, or length. And then I have my base units, which is in pounds or ounces. So as you can see, the base price per unit, which will be shown to the customers, will be $7.50 per 30 ounces. So the cost of goods, which we have next, is going to be how much it costs me to produce this item. So let's say for this item, it is costing me $50. So my profit, as you can see, it automatically updated. My profit is going to be $70 and my margin is 58.33%. That information is automatically calculated for you based on the cost of goods that you input. Next, we have the custom text. So for the custom text, let's say you're selling something like custom wood pieces. You can add this field here, which allows your customers to be able to input what they would like. So let's say you give them the option to add a name, or maybe it's a date of birth, maybe it's a custom color. They can add that information here. So in the text field, you basically want to put or ask the information that you're needing from the customer. I would recommend making this mandatory, of course, unless your product doesn't require it, and then setting a character limit. So moving right along, we are going down to the product options. So you want to go ahead and click on add options to add a new one. So your product options are basically your variants. Think about when you go to a website and you're selecting either the size, maybe the color, maybe there's some other options such as your wig size, the length. Those are your variants, and that is what this is used for. So let's say I want to do size. So I'm going to enter my choices here, and you do want to have your choices separated by a comma. Click add. Your first variant is already added. You can connect images. So basically what that means is based on the variant that they select, the images that you uploaded are going to change as well. I'm just going to click apply. Let's say we want to add color. So what I really like about the color option is that you can apply the exact color next to it when they select it. So as you can see there, it automatically changed it, and you have a black dot, a red dot, a yellow dot. And let's just add one more. Let's see. Okay, so as of right now, I have my variants added, or my product options, but they're currently all set to one price, which we currently have as the sale price of $125. But let's say based on the length, if you get a 14 or 16, then that is going to be extra to the customer. In that case, I want to go ahead and turn this on where it says manage pricing and inventory for each product variant. So you may look at this and be like, oh no. Before you run away, before you click off this video, I'm going to show you how easy it is, right? So again, I only want to change 14s and 16s. So I'm going to click here and go down to 14. And when I scroll down, everything that has the 14-inch in length is already selected. So all I have to do is click edit price difference. Let's say I want to increase it by only 10. Boom, they're all changed. I could deselect. Now let's go ahead and do 16. They're all selected. Edit price difference, 10. Oops, actually I want to do 20. Deselect. Any variant you can do that too. So let's say I want to select everything that has medium. They're all selected. I can go over here and change the status, making them out of stock or in stock. I could set the weight to all of them, and I could edit the price difference. Another way to do this, because let's say you have a ton of products that you have added and need to make changes to. You can also export this into an Excel sheet, update it as needed, and then import it back, which will automatically override all of the products you already have so that it updates based on that new spreadsheet. So I'm just going to click apply here. And again, we can see all of those variants that we have added. So next I'm going to go down to manage variants, which is basically the same thing. But one thing I missed, let's go back to edit, which is going to take us right back where we were before. Towards the top right, there is the option that says track inventory. So let's say you only have a certain amount of products available to your customers. You want to go ahead and make sure you turn that on. Otherwise, they'll be able to keep buying and buying and buying. So let's say I'm going to select all, edit inventory, and I have 5 of each. Now this part is important for when we get to our next option, which is the pre-orders. So for part of the pre-order option to work, you do have to set a limit or quantity for your inventory. So I'm just going to go ahead and turn the pre-order option on. I'm going to input a pre-order message, if I can spell. So the pre-order limit is where that quantity for our inventory overall comes into play. If I did not have an inventory set and I just say it's always available, then this pre-order limit will not be an option. It'll be grayed out, letting you know why. But let's say I want to limit it to, let's say 5. There is a note in the yellow letting you know this product is currently in stock, so you will not see the pre-order option. I'm just going to place one item out of stock just so when we get to the front end, we can see that. And actually, I'm going to make it all 12 so I don't have to remember which one I did. And last, we have create a subscription. So you know when you go to Amazon and they're like, oh, for this amount, if you sign up for us to deliver a subscription, you get it a little cheaper, or you could just buy it one time. Basically the same concept. So to turn it on, you could just click create a subscription. You have your name, your tagline, which is optional. And then similar to Amazon, if you decide to give a discount based on when they subscribe, you could input that here. I'm just going to do a percentage of, let's say, 10%. Let's say once a month, and it expires after 2 billing cycles. So you can see below where it says your customers will be charged $112.50 per month for 2 billing cycles. Their subscription will expire after 2 months. So you do want to make sure you read that so you understand or have a clear idea of what exactly you're offering. Now, at the message that we have at the top is, if pre-order is on, then you cannot have the option for subscriptions. So in this case, I'm just going to go ahead and leave it off. All right. And that is pretty much it. So let's go ahead and save this and look on the front end. Okay, so we are on the product page. You can see the products that she already have added, but let's go to the one that we added. So I have my title, my price with the discount. Customers are able to see the price per 30 ounces that we talked about. You have your payment options that's already set up. We'll talk about that in a different video. And then I have my variants here. I have my custom text option. So remember I set 12 inches to be on pre-order. So I could just hit my pre-order option. It's going to add to cart, and then the person can basically just check out. It'll be a pre-order. But let's go to one that's actually in stock. So now we have add to cart instead of pre-order. In a different video, we're also going to get into how to customize your product pages. But for this video, we're strictly talking about how to add them to your site. So now that you have your first product added, let's go back to the catalog section of the Wix dashboard. So we discussed products. Let's go down to inventory. This is basically just another page for you to manage your inventory instead of going back into the product to edit itself. Similar concept. You have your filter at the top. You could select in stock or out of stock. You have your additional filters here. You can select the category, or if you want to select different products, and basically change the inventory there. Next, we have the categories, which we briefly talked about from the products page. All of your categories, remember I said if you want to make a different category for, let's say, shirts, then pants, then shorts, all of your categories will be shown here. And when you click on it, it's going to take you to the category page. Now, for this page, it's the same or similar as the product page. You just input a title, description, category, image, and all of the products that are going to be in the category. So this is only going to be shown to the customer if you use the category page through the Wix editor. Otherwise, this is just for your eyes only. Now, the products in category that you see here, now remember on the front end of the website, the product that we had just added was first, followed by the products that she already had added. If you wanted to rearrange that, this is where you would go to do that. So I would just drag it here. If I drag that there. So now when I go to the front end, this is the order that the customer is going to see when they go to my website. You have your back in stock request, which we discussed in a previous video. And that's pretty much it. Pretty easy and simple, right? Exactly. So go ahead, add your product. Let me know how it goes. And I'll see you here next week's Wednesdays, where we highlight one Wix feature you must have on your website. Until next time.